May 9th at about 9:15 in the morning on a Thursday. This is Tech Tales 8. This morning I spent some time trying to arrange the material that I had gathered together from Bill's office yesterday at MT that I told you about on yesterday's Tech Tales. And I was trying to arrange those and figure out a way to present them. I really felt that it was worthwhile presenting that whole experience. And what I've found out so far, the problem's not solved yet. I spent 5.5 hours in their office. A couple of hours of that was after they had closed the office and left for the day. What I found as far as how Bill's computer is connected to the network is it connected into the Comcast router as on the subnet of 192.168.1.0. I think I already told you about that. And I used my laptop at various points trying to find out where the problem occurred. So with Bill's Ethernet cable plugged into my laptop, I experienced the same problem as his computer. So that says his computer is not the source of the trouble. Then I connected my laptop into the network switch, which is in that kitchen break room that I've shown you a picture of. And I had the same symptom there. So that means all the cabling and whatever other switch is hidden in the ceiling out there is not the source of the trouble. Then I connected my laptop to the Comcast router and did not have the problem. So that indicates that the problem exists somewhere between the Comcast router and the Ubiquity router. Then I plugged my laptop into that open port on the Ubiquity router, which was labeled as ETH2, and it had the subnet of 192.168.2.0. So my computer operating on that subnet, I had the problem. So the pings would run for a while and then get no replies and then come back to life, and it would cycle like that on and off. And I took pictures of these screens and I was trying to arrange them. I just had got so many pictures and it looked like it was going to take just more time than I can afford this morning, and I wanted to get a Tech Tales episode online today. I need to become consistent with publishing Tech Tales if this is going to wind up working out the way that I'm intending. If I don't get something published every day and find a way to make that sustainable and still keep my work on track so that I can keep money coming in, then this isn't going to work out. So I want to get online and get this video published just with a verbal update is what this is going to be. So as I was looking around on the configuration screens, I came across a configuration on the Comcast router that disables the firewall for true static IP addresses. And I went to look at the Ubiquity router and found that the WAN port on the Ubiquity router is configured as DHCP. So it picks up an IP address from the LAN side of the Comcast router. So then I thought, well, what if I assign a static IP address on the Ubiquity ETH0 port, which is what I'm treating as the WAN port for the Ubiquity router. So to do that, I wanted to check and see what is the DHCP range on the Comcast router, because I don't want to use a static IP address that is inside of that range. And I found that the Comcast router DHCP range was 192.168 1.0.2 through 253. So there's no addresses available. The Comcast router itself is on 0.1. The video surveillance server is on .254. So there's no room left for me to use any numbers. So I said, okay, well, I'll just change the range of the DHCP on the Comcast router. So I did a few ping tests to see if there was anything between the range of .2 through .10, and there was not. So I changed the DHCP range to be .10 through .253, and then I assigned the address of .2 to the WAN port on the Ubiquiti router, and then tried the ping test, and it worked perfectly. And at that point, I thought I had the problem solved, and we're done. A few minutes later, the office staff started reporting that their internet is down. And so I looked at my laptop, and sure enough, internet was down. And I thought, how could making that change make the internet go down? That didn't make sense. I wound up trying a few things, and in the end of that portion of time, I reversed all the changes I made, and the internet came back up pretty much instantly once I completed changing the DHCP range back to what it had been and changing the Ubiquiti router to a DHCP address on its WAN port. So I'd tried a few other things. It was getting close to their quitting time, and they were going to be gone. I knew I had access to the office after they left, and I'd be free to experiment. So I tried that back and forth. Every time that I set the Ubiquiti router for a static IP address, it would shut down the internet for the workstations in the office. At the moment, I don't have an answer or a solution for that. Some of you who have had experience down this road might be yelling at your screens right now, telling me an answer that you think is obvious. I'm not seeing it, so I'm going to take a next step with this. Now, right at the end, before I left, I discovered that with the Ubiquiti router on a DHCP address and the DHCP range on the Comcast router back to what it had been, I tried that ping test again, and it was successful. I did not have any drops. So that made me think, well, wait a minute, maybe I've been barking up the wrong tree all along here. Perhaps could it be that some computer or device on the network is spewing out garbage or just a lot of traffic on the network in such a way that the ping test that is going from the local area network into the switch, into the Ubiquiti router, through the Comcast router, the other side of the other LAN port of the Comcast router, and out to the surveillance server. Is it possible that that action is more sensitive to a highly active network traffic? Now, there aren't enough computers in this office doing enough activity to be legitimately that much traffic on the network. So that certainly didn't dawn on me earlier, but now I'm suspecting that. So I'll be checking in with Bill later today to see how that's reacting through his day. And then, let's see, I can't go into the lunch break today. I'm going to have lunch with my dad and my brothers. We do that on Thursdays. But perhaps after hours tonight, or maybe during their lunchtime tomorrow, my idea there is to do that ping test with the other computers on, and idle and see if it fails. Another option is I could even connect remotely to one of the computers during their active portion of their day and do the test. And then perhaps either during lunchtime tomorrow or after hours tonight, shut the other computers down and see if that fixes the ping test. And then if it does, I'm going to be looking closer at what is perhaps causing a lot of traffic on the network. And perhaps that's the real source of the trouble. And that somehow changing that WAN port of the Ubiquity router to a static address, maybe coincidentally the other computers weren't active, or maybe, oh, I know, if that prevented their internet access, then that would have instantly reduced the amount of traffic on the network. And that could be the reason why the ping test was then successful. So this mystery is getting even deeper. And I only just realized that as I was talking to you. So thanks for the help. All right, I think that's good for now. I'll catch you next time. Have a good day. Bye.